We're in the money. We're in the money. Oh, hello. Welcome to Typical City, the fan channel for home of the most valuable football club in the world. That is, of course, Manchester City Football Club. Timely news. Of course, this is timely news. Straight after all the dust has settled after Chelsea's 4-4 draw with Manchester City, which was championed in the Chelsea part of the world, and City were pretty destroyed in the media. People saying that City are starting another crisis and falling apart again. Yet City very timely announced that we have revenues that are smashing British records once again. 712.8 million revenue, which destroys last month's record, which was United's £648 million revenue reported. Again, top of the table we go. Incredible. This is nearly 100 million more that we made last year in terms of revenue. It is an amazing time to be a Manchester City fan. It really, really is. A profit of £80.4 million, nearly doubled compared to last year's profit. And we are literally named the most valuable football club in the world, of £1.51 billion worth of value. Now, I hear you cry, how do you work that out? How do you work out the value of a football club? Well, it was the Brand Finance 50 experts that worked out, and they determined that the relative strength of brands through a balanced scorecard of metrics that evaluate marketing investment, stakeholder equity, and business performance. Now, business performance can mean multiple things when you're talking about a football club, because a football club needs to win football matches, and that we are very good at, I'm afraid. The treble echoes those words, because on the football pitch, we are destroying football teams, and off the football pitch, in terms of the financial department of this world and the global game that is growing and growing and growing, and already was the biggest football club, it was the biggest sport in the world. City find themselves top of the pyramid in the world. The most valuable football club. And you look across the road to those poor bastards in Trafford that are watching their ground crumble around them while their owners are trying to mug off a load of other owners and try and charge over $6 billion for their football club. And we're valued at 1.51 billion club. And the difference between what the value of a football club is compared to what some moron is prepared to pay for it, are two very, very different things. Very different things. But the fact is, facts is what we deal with on this channel. Like Manchester City, we deal with facts. Not speculation, not rumours, and not even accusations, because I'm going to get onto them. Those who are ready in the comment sections with 115, 115 charges. I'm waiting. Just patience. Wait. I'll get onto you morons in a minute. But right now, Manchester City, factually, are the most valuable football club in the world, with £712 million revenue to report as well. And it's incredible. It really is incredible. Going from little old City that used to struggle down in League One to where we are now as the treble winners. It's insane. It's absolutely insane to think of it. The media, of course, they can't resist having a dig. They cannot resist having a dig. They've discussed, obviously they all mentioned, every single Liverpool Echo, The Guardian, all these anti-City publications out there have reported that, City are under investigation still. Don't forget that. They're under investigation still. Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll deal with that in due time. But they also wanted to insist on the fact that the wage bill has gone up by a minuscule amount in comparison to the rest of the revenue that we've earned. Yes, it went up. And why was that? Do your homework. Why was that? Because we won everything. Every single one of those players will likely have had a bonus offered in their contract. You win the Champions League, you earn X amount. You win the Premier League, you earn X amount. If you win the FA Cup, League Cup, you earn X amount of money, and on top of your standard wage, on top of your standard salary. What did we win last year? Only the treble. Only the treble. So, of course, the wage bill went up, you morons. Of course it did. I mean, compared to Liverpool, and you look at United and their wage bills, pound for pound, who's winning? Pound for pound. Look at their wage bills. I mean, we're talking the tiniest fractions of differences compared to Liverpool's wage bill, Arsenal's wage bill, United's wage bill. They're monstrous, just like ours is. Yet we have players that win things, that have medals around their necks right now. Honourable medals. honourable. So you can level at us all the cheating and the financial doping accusations that are so far from factually true. It's incredible. It really is, because there is no facts. Where's the proof? I mean, come on. Where's the proof? That's the very first thing that people do when they talk about City and finances, and winning things is associated with cheating now, and they point the finger and say, oh yeah, 115. They don't even finish the sentences nowadays. They can't even finish 115 charges. They just say 115 because that's the lazy society that we live in nowadays. Because they need this information. It helps them sleep at night, because the media have provided a comfortable pillow to rest their heads on at night, so they can fall asleep and not think, oh my God, Manchester City won another treble. They're going to get another treble if they're not careful. Another Champions League, another Premier League trophy. Without those 115, they'd be insomniacs. The lot of them. They'd be ill. They'd be mentally unstable. But thankfully, they've been given the 115 charges so they can swallow that pill and it's a bit more digestible. They can deal with it a little bit easier, okay? But right now, those 115 charges have zero proof, actual proof that's in the public, given for us to all read. And give me one sample of proof, because right now they're all hanging their hat on a Portuguese hacker known as Rui Pinto. And where's he right now? Oh, he's in prison. That's right, for illegally obtaining documents that he should never have gone near in the first place. So if that's the standards that we're going up against, illegally hacking databases to retrieve this information, one, that won't ever stand up in a court of law. Two, is how credible is this individual? What's to say he's not doctored these documents? How can we prove that he's not completely manufactured and fabricated these documents and turned them into something that was not the case at all? Lies, in other words. And then you also need to factor in the white paper, a government process that is being introduced and currently under review right now to make the Premier League an independently regulated Premier League. So not self-regulated, where the Premier League come up with the rules and Richard Masters, the chief of the Premier League right now, can dictate and pull strings of who's going to win the Premier League this year and try and orchestrate some sort of structure that's very beneficial to a certain set of clubs. Arsenal, United, Liverpool spring to mind, and it's a very disadvantageous point for the rest of the Premier League football clubs. The rest of them have to struggle, basically, in the structure that he's creating. Instead, we're going to bring in an independently regulated organisation so it's fair. This white paper was going to be introduced the day after, or it was submitted the day after the Premier League announced their charges. Do you think that's a coincidence that they announced the 115 charges that are levelled towards Manchester City, and then the day after the white paper's introduced and submitted for review? It's because the Premier League are panicking. And do you want to know the one Premier League club that voted for the white paper, that are all for it? It's Manchester City. Why would they do that? Why would Manchester City vote for the white paper? Why would they be the first ones to pull out of the European Super League, which was shameful on Manchester City to even be included in that? But I believe City were a case of, we don't want to miss out. Okay, if everyone's going to do it, well, we're going to miss out here, and we're going to jump on ship. And I'm glad they jumped out of that ship. They were the first to get off that ship and announced it themselves and apologised. So apology accepted. Sheikh Mansour and Ferran Soriano and Khaldoon Mubarak. Apology accepted, but I haven't forgotten that they were the first to join in, and that was shameful. But the fact is, it's still the FSGs and the Glazers. They're the clubs that are organising all this. They're the ones that are behind this European Super League. And for those that are still uncertain about what this white paper is and what the intention of the white paper is, I can read out what the actual bullet-pointed statements of what the intentions are. Introducing an independent regulator to make sure that clubs were financially resilient. Strengthen the owners and directors test to protect clubs and their fans from careless owners. Give fans a greater say in the running of their clubs. Enable the regulator to block clubs from joining breakaway leagues such as a European Super League. Give the regulator fallback powers over financial redistribution. Who in their right mind wouldn't be for this, okay? There is no football fan in the world that would be against that. Not a logical football fan, not the one that's thinking of the greater game, the grand scheme of things, for the good of the game. That's exactly what the white paper is all about. Then why aren't FSG and the Glazers getting behind it? Why are City the only ones that are behind this? And then all of a sudden combine the fact that the Premier League, who would be disadvantaged in this situation, they would be harmed in this situation. If the white paper comes in, all of a sudden Richard Masters and financial fair play, the rules as it stands, will be completely restructured, and he will have a much smaller vote. His opinion will be reduced and his vote will be reduced. He won't have as big a power in the Premier League because the white paper is now ran by an independent regulator. And that's fantastic news. It makes it fairer for everybody. You know, and City are here receiving charges and being accused of cheats, while the FSG and the Glazers, and you talk about ownership models. These owners that have come in, Sheikh Mansour has come in and has been incredibly respectful of Manchester City, incredibly respectful, and thinking about the history and the heritage of Manchester City, and the fans and the CFG and the community, and building a global brand for Manchester City. And anyone who doesn't know what CFG stands for, it stands for the City Football Group, and that's the sister clubs, basically, that City are buying and increasing the brand and associating football clubs around the world. And an example of how well ran we are, you only need to go and look at the La Liga table. Go and have a look at the La Liga table now. One of our sister clubs, Girona, is currently top of La Liga right now. And you wonder, what the hell's going on there? Well, yeah, because they're ran by Manchester City, because Manchester City have their fingers in that pie. Our fingerprints are all over that success story that we're seeing in La Liga right now. And you're wondering why City are top of the Premier League right now? Because they're ran by impeccable individuals, business-savvy individuals that are going to destroy and wipe the floor with the Premier League. I'm sorry, they're going to get obliterated into smithereens, into oblivion. Absolutely dismantled publicly. And the longer this drags out for, I mean, it's more harm to City, to be honest, because all that happens now is the dragging out of, cheats. And the day will come, the day of reckoning will come, where Manchester City are cleared of all charges and we can point those fingers and we can almost re-celebrate our titles again. We can shove that Aguero moment down the throat, Rodri smashing one in the back of the net against Inter Milan. Gundogan's 2 substitute goal appearances to snatch that title away from Liverpool, who thought they'd won it. You know, we're going to celebrate it all again. We're going to do it all again. And meanwhile, they've got other ownership models that are a complete joke. The Glazers, who are just sapping and just leeching everything out of that football club and destroying Manchester United, physically allowing it to crumble. Old Trafford is falling down. It is quite literally falling down. And it's not just, let's not stop there. You've got Vincent Tan of Cardiff coming in and changing the kit colour of Cardiff City. Who remembers that as in terms of an ownership model? You've got Assam Alam of Hull coming in and trying to change Hull City and trying to change it, and having the FA reject the application to change Hull City to Hull Tigers and seeing that rejected. And I'm just waiting for the day for United's owners to say, you know what, I'm a bit bored, Manchester United, nah. Let's go with the Stretford Dolphins or the Trafford Timberwolves. I'm looking forward to that day, and then we'll talk about how bad our ownership model is compared to their ownership model, shall we? Because right now, City are the most valuable football club in the world, and people talk about fans still as well, and how Manchester City, they have no fans. And first of all, we do. We have 125,000 people on a season ticket waiting list right now. Facts right there. 125,000 people. It's incredible to think that people still think we have no fans. Really insane, really. But then you've got the commercial side of it, the broadcasting side of it, and the match day side of it. The fact that the match day side of it, in terms of our revenue, of our £712 million revenue, it was just over £70 million was from the match day revenue. A drop in the ocean, in other words. So people think that, how do Manchester City, all these individuals in social media, how are City reporting these earnings? They're fixing it again. They're up to no good again, Manchester City. No, it's because we win on the pitch. We win football matches. We win trophies. And because we win trophies, guess what? Big brands want to associate themselves with us, because that's how football and business works together, going hand in hand. Success breeds money, and big brands, they come knocking at the door saying, we want to be part of your system. Whatever you're doing, we want to be part of it, please. You know, and that's what happens. That's the commercial side of the game. Broadcasting side of the game, because we keep getting to Champions League finals and semi-finals and FA Cup finals, and we're the big team that everyone wants to beat. Broadcasting money, the TV money, it all comes flooding Manchester City's way. Match day is great because City making more money than we did last year, and the year before that, more money than that as well. So we keep growing and growing and growing, but the people who keep thinking that matches are incredibly uneducated people. You know, you've got so many people in social media who think that fans are the be-all and end-all and that that's the sole source of income and revenue for a football club, and they are massively uneducated then on how a football club is ran because they think it's fans. They're a joke. First of all, we do have fans, and second of all, they're a drop in the ocean. As important as fans are in generating an atmosphere and having this, what we're doing right now, if you're watching, you're a fan and I'm a fan, we're talking about football. They'll never get rid of that, no matter what. But at the end of the day, we are a drop in the ocean when it comes to the finances of football. But either way, whichever way you look at it, Manchester City, factually, are the most valuable football club in the world as the current Champions League holders, Premier League holders, and FA Cup holders. Stick that in your fucking pipe and smoke it.
This is typical City now, holding up silver.